Hiya! Welcome! Oh, I've forgotten the bloody light. Hiya! Welcome! Well, we've been at this for a fair few months now, this series of me filling my New Order and related vinyl collection holes. Part 7, I guess we could call this. It's mostly singles to show you today that have one of two prominent members of New Order, one no longer in the group, featuring on these singles, but there is an album. We'll start with that actually. And the album is a purchase from a site I'd never used before, Jacaranda Records, and they're based, I believe, in Liverpool. There's some good record shops in Liverpool, like Dig Vinyl for instance. I've used those a few times. But this is an album, it's a reissue, and it was on sale, 20% off apparently, and I'll just show you. It is XL by 808 State. As you can see, this is the reissue that came out on coloured vinyl last year for National Album Day. It did tempt me actually. I picked up, I can't remember, 2 or 3 albums for National Album Day last year, and then I think I got another 1 or 2 on discount after the fact. And this was one that was kind of in the maybe pile for me, but I didn't want to pay full price for it. And that was before it became a bit more of an essential pickup, what with me wanting anything that features Bernard Sumner, because yes, that's why I'm showing you this in this New Order video. Bernard Sumner is the guest vocalist on what I think is track 2 on side A, Spanish Heart. Hopefully I'll be playing you a bit of that in a moment. I'm familiar with a couple of the singles on here, or maybe even more than a couple. In Your Face, I've always loved that, one of my favourite dance singles of all time. So it's nice to get a physical version of that finally after all these years. Cubic, fantastic. Olympic as well. So I'm really looking forward to listening to this album. We will get it open actually, because I want to look at the coloured vinyl. But I perhaps wouldn't have been quite so in a rush to get this had it not featured Bernard Sumner on Spanish Heart. He's got nothing to do with the production on this album, by the way. He's just a featured vocalist, and he may have written the lyrics for that. Yes, he did. Festoon with stickers, that's the original retail price, by the way, £41.99, which is a lot. I mean, it is a 2 LP set. Interestingly, Dig Vinyl in Liverpool, who I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, did have a couple of original pressings of XL on their site for a lot cheaper. But this at Jacaranda, the original price £42, but this one was £28.99, I think. So with it being coloured vinyl and a reissue, I do tend to lean towards reissues. I decided to go with this, so there we are, nice bold blue there. It is 2 LP, but the other disc will look pretty much identical. So thank you to Jacaranda, a nice first pickup there from them, featuring Bernard Sumner on Spanish Heart, the album from the Manchester acid house pioneers, XL by 808 State.
It's not real, and it ain't what I bargained for in a deal I know will never end. I would stay up day and night if I thought that it would make you listen, just to make you both aware of this ever-changing situation. I would stay up day and night. I would stay up day and night.
Right then, now we move on to one eBay pickup, but this is the first in many similar looking 12-inch singles. So theoretically I should be able to get through all these fairly quickly. as long as I don't waffle on and talk bollocks. This only cost me £1.50, although postage was £4.99, which seemed a little bit steep for one 12-inch single, but it is what it is, really. And it is a single from an act called Hybrid, and as you can see, it features Peter Hook on bass. This is true to form. So Hybrid, I wasn't really familiar with them, even though they've had some longevity in the music business. I think they've been going since around 96-ish, maybe, sometime in the mid-90s. Still going today. I think they're more sort of renowned for soundtrack work in more recent years, but a dance act who've been going for a long time and have released a lot of albums, a lot of singles, and for a period in the 2000s, they collaborated with Peter Hook quite a lot. So this one, true to form, just 2 tracks on each side, the original mix and the John Creamer and Stefan K mix. They also remixed Crystal by New Order a couple of years or so before this came out. Don't think there's any coloured vinyl to show you. Well, there is for one of these singles, but it's a picture disc actually. Quick look at the disc there. As I say, although I feel they're an act who should have come up on my radar with me being a dance music connoisseur, I can't say that I'm overly familiar with much, if anything, what Hybrid have done, but with them playing with Peter Hook, or collaborating with him I should say, I wanted to fill these gaps in the Hooky section of the New Order collection. So that one is true to form. Everything else today is from Discogs, but we stick with Hybrid and 12-inch singles. This one is called Dog Star, and although it doesn't prominently credit Peter Hook, it does feature him on bass. It'll say on the credits on the back, it's very small white on grey writing, so yeah, I can just make it out holding the sleeve away from me. So yeah, Peter Hook does play on track 1, Dog Star, and the track on side B is I Chose Noise. Also, interesting enough, the vocals on Dog Star are from Perry Farrell, who was the lead singer for Jane's Addiction. And he formed a group called Satellite Party in the, 2000s, probably around the same time this came out actually, about mid-2000s. Yeah, 2006, the copyright date on here. And Peter Hook guested on that album. It's not one that I've been inclined to try and pick up yet. It's not come out on vinyl, it's only ever come out on CD. All these in nice condition. By the way, these are all from various Discogs sellers. There's been some that have come with other non-hybrid singles and releases. And others have been all hybrid, so these are kind of all mixed up, so I can't specify exactly who the sellers are other than they were on Discogs Marketplace. So that is Dog Star. Won't spend too long on these. These are blind buys as well, really. I've not listened to any of these before. Searching for Peter Hook within Discogs Marketplace, and sellers were throwing up these results here, these singles, and I'm like, well yeah, if Hooky's on it, I'm gonna get it. And none of these were particularly expensive either, these hybrid singles. I mean, as I say, the one off eBay was only £1.50, and I can't remember specific prices for some of these other ones. Just sort my pile out here. Next one is Dreamstalker. There again, doesn't credit Peter Hook prominently, but he does play on the track. More vocals from Perry Farrell on this one, from the same album as Dog Star. Dreamstalker track 1 and track 2, Just for Today. No idea whether I'll even like these. I've listened to a bit of True to Form because I wanted to find a clip to play you. That's a good track. I wouldn't say it was outstanding, but Hooky's bass is certainly prominent in parts. So Dreamstalker there. Then I think we've got 2 more hybrid singles. I'll save you the best looking one, the picture disc, till last. Then Higher Than a Skyscraper. What year did this come out? 2004's the copyright on here. Once again, bass by Peter Hook, although these are 2 mixes of this, so whether Hooky will even be noticeable is credited on it, so you know, it's good enough for me. Track A, Hybrid Twitch and Sweat mix, and track B, Orb's Tower of Babel mix. So the Orb providing a remix for Hybrid there. And then the final Hybrid single is this picture disc here. Now this, I think, is in like a series of 3 EPs called Y4K. It's very difficult for you to see that. Hopefully you can see it's got kind of like a transparent hype sticker on there that gives you all the information. Yeah, it's another mix of Higher Than a Skyscraper, which obviously Peter Hook is credited on. And then the other tracks in Good We Trust, some sort of mix of that, and the Drop Man on Fire edit. The 2 tracks on side B, which neither of those, to the best of my knowledge, feature Hooky. But look at that, it's a really cool looking picture disc there. Like the other ones, these weren't overly expensive either. I think the most expensive one, which may have been this one, I can't honestly remember, was about a tenner maybe. So there we go, some hybrid singles. I'm looking forward to giving them a try. We stick with Discogs and we look at 2 more singles from A Certain Ratio. Now this one you're going to get some sense of deja vu, because it's this one again, Won't Stop Loving You, but it's the 12-inch version. I wasn't intending to buy this, but I think I found it when I was searching for Bernard Sumner at the same seller that I found at least 1 or 2 of those hybrid singles. And I thought, you know what, it's a good price. I've got the 7-inch and it's a really good single. I love this. It's one of my favourite Barney productions, to be honest. I'll get the 12-inch as well. Whether I'll keep the 7-inch, I don't know. I might pass it on as VCLT. Although it has got the original version of Won't Stop Loving You, which is called the Big E on side B. And that doesn't feature on here, but I don't know. I haven't decided whether I want the 7 and the 12-inch. Maybe I'll keep them both. Maybe I'll part with the 7-inch at some point. But regardless, I love this track. It's fantastic. 3 mixes of Won't Stop Loving You on here. The first one by Bernard Sumner, the second one by Norman Cook, better known these days as Fatboy Slim, and the third one is an instrumental, which looks like it's the instrumental of the Norman Cook remix to me, out in 1990 on A&M Records. So yeah, I played you a clip of this in the last New Order collection update. However, another Certain Ratio single. This came out, I think, probably just before Won't Stop Loving You. This one is the 4 for the Floor EP, with the main track, track 1, being Good Together. Really nice condition, this actually. Looks near mint to me, sleeve does anyway. I've not inspected any of the vinyl properly yet. Good Together I bought because it features vocals by Bernard Sumner and Shaun Ryder. From what I've heard of Good Together, I think it's really backing vocals they provide, so the link to New Order and Bernard Sumner specifically is tenuous, but they're credited on here. You know, if they're credited on a track, then I'm going to want it for the New Order collection. Yeah, guest vocals on Good Together, Shaun Ryder and Bernard Sumner, but I think it's backing vocals really. You can kind of make them both out. I mean, Barney, for me, has quite a distinctive voice, and Shaun Ryder, of course, of Happy Mondays and Black Grape fame, certainly has a distinctive voice. The other tracks on this 4-track EP are Spirit Dance, Be What You Wanna Be, and Tribeca. So that is Good Together, or rather 4 for the Floor by ACR.
So good, how could you let me down now? I'm flying so high, you're falling so low, lonely.
We'll move to a 7-inch single now. This one was a real surprise find. Once again, doing my usual, searching up Peter Hook in Discogs Marketplace, and it threw up a 7-inch single that came out for Record Store Day in France, a French exclusive, in 2016 by a duo called the Liminanas. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of that. Never heard of these. Don't even think they've got a British or English language Wikipedia page when I was trying to look for some more information about them as opposed to just their Discogs bio. And this is a single called Garden of Love, and yeah, it does feature Peter Hook. It says it prominently there. Track B is Maria's theme. The Liminanas, apologies to any French viewers, they're like a garage rock duo, female fronted. I suppose a little bit like a kind of French equivalent of the White Stripes, maybe, but not necessarily sounding just like White Stripes. I had no idea that Peter Hook had played with a French garage rock, indie rock duo, really, let alone that the single had come out for French Record Store Day some, what was that, 8 years ago. It's actually still new and sealed, this. I think it's black vinyl, so I'm not going to take it out. I do like that this outer protector here does have a Record Store Day sticker on it, though, from Swordfish, which I'm assuming is the name of a French record shop. Garden of Love featuring Peter Hook by the Liminanas. If anyone else knows about this act, this duo, then let me know what you reckon to them, because this was a complete surprise to me. I was aware of the hybrid singles that featured Hooky. Of course, A Certain Ratio, I knew Bernard Sumner had collaborated with them a couple of times, but this one was a bolt out the blue, really. But I had to pick it up, and it wasn't expensive. It was from a British seller as well, by the way. It's not one I had to import from France. Liminanas featuring Hooky, Garden of Love.
It must be a dream. Nothing is real. I walk alone. I'm singing my song, and I say,
Couple more Barney adjacent 12-inch singles now. This one is Two from Quando by Quando Quango. So Quando Quango, for those who don't know, and a lot of Factory Records fans and historians will know who Quando are, were basically Mike Pickering, who went on to form M People, and he was a big DJ at the Hacienda during their glory years, and his partner at the time from Holland, Gonnie Rietveld. They formed like a kind of Latin pop avant-garde synth act, which released some stuff on Factory, probably mainly Factory's European arm. I'm just trying to see now if this is a Factory release, as in Factory UK, or maybe Factory Benelux. Not sure, actually. It's got an F on the centre label. I've got a feeling it might be Factory Benelux, this, but I probably should have looked it up before, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, Two from Quando, it's a 2-track 12-inch single. Track 1 is Atom Rock, and track 2 is Triangle. Quando Quango, alright, I've encountered them before on the compilations such as New Order Presents B Music. Love Tempo is probably their most famous number, but they didn't really have any success in any kind of notable way until Mike Pickering kind of went on to do other things and bigger things, you know, M People. I mean, they were a massive charting act throughout the 1990s. This one is produced by Dojo and B Music, in other words, Bernard Sumner and Donald Johnson. Features Simon Topping on percussion and trumpet, He was one of the founding members, I believe, of A Certain Ratio, and Johnny Marr provides guitar here as well, so a bit of an early electronic hookup here on Quando, I can't even say it, Quando Quangos 2 from Quando. Whew.
It's not just some rocky thing. It's just love that makes me sing. Resistance is a trick. No pain. It makes me sick. It's not just some rocky thing. It's just love that makes me sing. One is the bass, two is the place, three is the taste, home to my place. One is the bass, two is the place, three is the taste, home to my place. One is the bass, two is the place, three is the taste, home to my place. One is the bass, two is the place, three is the taste, home to my place.
Last 12-inch single before we do a mail opening, so it's the penultimate 12-inch actually, which is a spoiler, but I'm really excited about the bit of mail to show you, as it really does complete a collection. Anyway, this one here is another track that Bernard Sumner produced, and it's an absolute banger. It's on the New Order B Music compilation, at least one of them, possibly more. And it was originally a single from an American kind of electro act in the 1980s, and this is a 1990 Bernard Sumner remix and reissued on Rob's Records. The Beat Club, Security, fantastic track this, love it. I have this obviously on albums already, but when I saw there was an opportunity to pick up the single on Rob's Records, I thought, you know what, I'm going to add this to my basket. Doesn't really give you much in the way of info. Oh, that's all on the side, that's why. So side A, Security Remix, that's the Bernard Sumner remix. Side B, Security Dub, and another track on side B, Rebel Son. And it's got all your copyright bump and production notes. Also on the side there, looks kind of like a thinned down Obi strip, but it's not, it's just printed up the side like that. Not really much else to say about this other than it's an absolute banger, and if I can play a bit for you now without YouTube insisting I take it away, then here it is. Right then, mail opening to do. This came this morning, and it is another Discogs purchase. Just one 12-inch in here, but this has come from Germany, specifically from an address in Berlin. Wasn't expecting this quite so soon. I had a message off the seller, and he was apologising because he'd forgot to get any tracking information. I don't know whether he'd forgot as in he threw it away, or he just paid for cheaper postage which didn't have tracking, which is always a bit of a risk internationally. But I said to him, well, I'll wait however long it normally takes for stuff to get from mainland Europe to the UK, and hopefully, you know, there won't be any delays and I won't need to kind of let you know that there's a problem. And it's come quicker than I expected. So thank you to the seller in Berlin. Let's get this one open. This one, I've been holding off buying it. There's not many copies out there. I was holding off because it is expensive for a 12-inch single, but I will explain why that's the case in a moment. It seems to be nicely packaged with some protective card within, and it's also come in what seems to be quite a nice quality protective outer sleeve as well. Yeah, it's been separated out as a lot of second-hand records off and on. So this seller, he didn't have an awful lot in his Discogs store, to be honest. He just looked like he was selling off the remnants of his own collection. But he had this, and I've been wanting this ever since I started filling these New Order related gaps. It is the last electronic single that I needed, Late at Night. So this single, and it's got a promotional copy, not for resale sticker on there, but it's not really a promo as such. It's technically a withdrawn single. I think maybe due to some sort of sample clearance that didn't occur. This was meant to be the follow-up single to Vivid, their first single from Twisted Tenderness, and it got withdrawn, although obviously some pressings had leaked out, as it were. Now the price for this, I'll quickly show you the record itself. I think this is the seller's own inner sleeve by the look of it. Not an awful lot to see. The price for this, including international postage and taxes, it was around £45, which is more than what I want to pay for a 12-inch single. But it was the gaping hole in my electronic collection. I've now got all of electronic singles on 12-inch. I've got all the 7 inches. He says as he's struggling to get this in. There we go. It was one that I knew I would be picking up at some point. The only other seller where I thought I might be able to get a bit of a deal was someone on eBay in America was selling this, but taxes and everything were bumping it up, and I could make a best offer, and my best offer just ended up being less than half of what he wanted. And even then, like, the taxes and stuff were still making it up to nearly £50, and obviously he didn't accept that offer anyway. So yeah, I thought, no, I'm going to go with this guy on Discogs. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this cheaper than £45. You watch, there'll be someone in the UK selling it now, and they'll be selling it for a reasonable price with obviously no additional fees. So that is Late at Night, the long lost single from Electronic and their Twisted Tenderness era.
Well, they tell me that it's missing. All the guns out on the western front are quiet now. Well, it's nice to hear the world breathe a sigh. It's like the color of your skin. You know it doesn't mean a thing. Nor do the clothes that we're wrapped in. It doesn't matter if you're thin. And though I lay awake at night, I know your arms will hold me tight. And I thank God we got it right. We're in the city late at night.
And that's all my New Order related pickups to show you for today. I really don't think there's anything else or much else that I want. You know, I might come across something, say a Stockholm Monsters single that Hooky produced, and I'll be picking it up if I can. But generally, I think this is the last part. I've said it, and I was saying it throughout this series. And I just kept contradicting myself by doing another one. But, you know, I'm a collector and an obsessive one. Once I decided, yes, I want my New Order singles and albums, anything on vinyl that I haven't already got. Then it went to electronic, other two, Revenge, Monaco, etc., etc. And then it went to the production of New Order and guest appearances. So, you know, B Music Productions, Hooky Productions, guest appearances on stuff like 808 States album, for instance. So, yeah, it was a big rabbit hole. It might not be over, I don't know. Well, I do know there is certain other singles and things out there that feature Barney, Hooky, and some with Steve and Gillian as well. But anyway, thank you all for watching this one. I want to say special thanks to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I'm going to go now, sort out this pile of Barney and Hooky related discs here. And I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next New Order related video. There might be one of some description, I don't know. And of course, my next record collecting video. Cheers, everyone. See ya!